This is WBSM On Demand.
Good morning. Good morning. It's kind of wet out there, kind of wet. So be careful if you're driving. I know many of you are. Be careful if you're driving. The mayor of New Bedford will be here in the next hour, so we'll talk with him a little bit about the city and what's going on over there. And, you know, it's beautiful to shop downtown New Bedford this time of year. I know a lot of people here at the station, including myself, have been down there. It's fun to stop into places. If you have a drink, have a little food. There's a lot of good options downtown. So this time of year, right? Beautiful time of year. The topic this hour is kind of open. If it's on your mind, I bet I'll find it interesting. If you'd like to tell me why Ian Abreu should be the town administrator here in Fairhaven, I'm certainly open to that. The last gentleman who called brought up some good points. He did bring up some good points. And, of course, it caused me to have to bring up some counterpoints that are even more valid. But I just think that having a New Bedford city... See, there's two city councilors who've applied to be the town administrator here in Fairhaven. And I don't think either one of them... I don't think any of the town administrators... Let me put it this way. Nobody who's an elected official in New Bedford should be the town administrator in Fairhaven. They have their interests, and we have ours, right? And you need to keep them separate. And it would make it really impossible for an individual to fully do the job here in Fairhaven if they still were a city councilor in New Bedford. And you get that. And I'm sure the Board of Selectmen get that here in Fairhaven, right? Quite frankly, I don't know what's wrong with... Maybe he doesn't want to keep the job, but leave Charlie Murphy there as long as you can. If he's willing to do it, I don't know that he is, but I think Charlie's fine. He's stable. He's local taxpayer. He knows all the players. He's a prince of a guy, very easy to get along with. And I don't know, maybe just leave Charlie there. It's not an invitation to bash Charlie, but my opinion is that I like things to be stable. And I like a town administrator who's got the same skin in the game that I have, a taxpayer, right? Lives in town, pays taxes in town, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Plus qualified, right? Anyway, so that's I get it that town politics in Fairhaven doesn't draw a lot of callers and people aren't that interested in it. Or maybe they are, but they don't want to speak up. But I'm just, and I guess what my other concern is that why would Ian Abreu and Joe Lopes want to leave the New Bedford City Council other than for all the obvious reasons, right? I get that this is a high-paying job and it would bump up their pension, but it would be an interesting job for them too. But does that mean that you have two city councilors that might not be running for re-election? One at large and one in Ward 5? That's very interesting, right? Ward 5 is loaded with political potential, right? I'm sure Shane Burgo would love to get his friend at buddy in there, his little buddy. What's nice guy? Grew up in Freetown. The hell is his name? He's got a ponytail. He ran. He's a big fan of safe injection sites and group homes with drug addicts. What do they call those? Sober houses, right? He's a big fan of sober houses. What the hell is that kid's name? I should look on a milk card. We haven't seen him since he lost the last election to Joe Lopes. But What is that kid's name? If anybody remembers the affable ponytailed kid who ran in Ward 5. He grew up in Freetown, down in the Sonnet Bay Shores. Like me, grew up in Freetown. What the heck? Oh, Zach Boyer. I don't think he's any relation to Eddie Boyer, my once attorney. I loved Eddie Boyer. No, he's been paroled now, Eddie. Eddie was a good guy, though. Well, I guess he wasn't really, because they put him in federal prison after he did a stint in state prison, actually county prison. But Eddie Boyer was a good guy, and but I don't think Zach Boyer was any relation. It certainly doesn't remind me of Eddie Boyer. Anyway, 508-960-500. Do they learn anything on the New Bedford City Council? I mean, I think Sean Oliver and Leo Choquette and Linda Morad have learned a lot. They're friends of the taxpayers. They could probably come over here to Fairhaven and do a good turn. But again, they are not running the day-to-day operations, and they won't pretend like they are either, right? Those guys know, and gals, know they're not running the day-to-day operations as a city councilor. They just learn politics over there. Anyway, we got a bunch of calls. Good morning. Thanks for holding. You're live.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Not bad. What are you doing?
Looking at this rain, it's horrible.
It is, but we must need it.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah, we're still pretty low on the reservoir front as far as we still got a long way to go to get the water table up, but
in a short time to get there.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, if it can come as rain all winter, that's fine.
Yeah,
so,
see?
Exactly. You got to look at things positively. Speaking of Gilligan's Island, the city council, we're going to see if they elect Gilligan. That's going to be interesting. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Shane Burgo.
Thank you. I think it's interesting that, they seem to be out of touch. I'm actually surprised they can run a Zoom meeting, but they seem to be out of touch because if they just watch the national news and watch what the people that are setting up this DOGE agency, the Department for Government Efficiency, like one of the biggest things that the DOGE group, which is Elon Musk, a small genius, probably more of a large genius, and Vivek Ramaswamy, who is, I think he's like 20 or 30 years ahead of all of us, the way his way he's thinking, and his speech is fast and everything. He's like an alien.
He's an exceptionally bright guy.
Yeah, and so these guys, the number one thing on the list is go back to work.
Right.
So they know that 90% of federal jobs in Washington, D.C., people are working from home. And so the city council should actually just watch the national news once in a while and realize that working from home isn't doing the job. Right. That they can express a little bit more energy, take the slippers off, put on some sneakers, and go to work. It's not that hard to figure it out. There's a schedule for these meetings, I'm sure, and they can show up for the meeting. And if you can't, if you're in the hospital or something, I get it. Or
sure.
If your wife's giving birth, I get it. There's a number of reasons that it makes some sense, but to acquiesce to a Zoom meeting, which is basically lowbrow management. I think that this is it's time for the people to call them out and say, get off of Zoom. Zoom is an emergency. Basically, I use Zoom, but I can't go see the people I need to see in Taiwan or over in Italy. So that's why I use Zoom. But if I was in the same town or even in the same state, we're meeting because we want a relationship. We want to, talk about things, have a coffee, a lunch. Zoom should not be used the way they're using it. The bottom line is emergencies, yes. Everyday business, that's just laziness, period. So
I agree with you, and thanks for the call, my friend, as always. And the fact that, look, I have regularly called out Linda Morad and Maria Giesta for hosting meetings from home, right, on Zoom. Called it government by shut-ins. And I'm sure Ian Abreu is snickering away at that because he doesn't like Linda Morad, and I'm not sure how he feels about Maria Giesta. But so when he does it, particularly when the town of Fairhaven's looking at him as a possible town administrator, that's just a bad look, right? It's a bad look. 508-996-05. Hey, it's the holiday season. You have been chosen to host the big party. Well, who's going to do the cooking? Not you. Don't worry about it. Worry about nothing. Riccardi's will take care of it for you. Riccardi's is your first step for the tastiest party platters. Large or small, hot or cold. Folks love their antipasto, baked lasagna, chicken and eggplant parmesan, meatballs and sausage, and so much more. Simply uncover and serve, packaged and prepared for an attractive presentation, whether you're doing it for your business, for your home, family and friends, or a work party. Riccardi's Restaurant on Hathaway Road in New Bedford and on Sconneck here in Fairhaven. When you see the Riccardi's box, it's going to be a great party. Give them a call. They'll cover all your party needs. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm here. Hey, as far as the two counselors that have applied for jobs in Fairhaven,
yes,
if they relinquish their seat on the council, to me, I don't see any problem.
Oh, no, I agree with you there. They'd have to give it up, yeah.
Yeah, and watching the two counselors on the TV when I can get a chance to watch them because the cable company can't put it on for us that don't have U-boob to refer to, okay? To me, you're getting two good guys, and they need the money, I guess, and they do a good job. Those two, Ian Abreu and Mr. Lopes. So you'd be getting two of the best, I would think.
So do you think they would have to resign?
I would think so because it would be a conflict of interest. You can't represent Fairhaven or represent New Bedford, too, at the same time. It wouldn't be the right thing to do. And again, I think you're getting two of the better counselors if they do apply for the job, that sort of thing. What do you think?
Well, I certainly think both of them have their merit, but I don't think that they learn anything about day-to-day operations of municipal government as a city council. That is not their responsibility.
Well, I'm sure there would be a learning curve there as well. But
yes.
I think both of them are intelligent guys. Joe Lopes taught me return on investment. And I fail to see with the mayor all the years he's been around what return on investment we've got. It's like he's giving you this raincoat, and it must be a very fine coat and everything. But again, like the city has all these special things, but they don't have any shoes on. You don't do the basics. You don't do the water pipes with the ARPA money, and you don't do the tax relief with the ARPA money, or the Community Preservation Act. What's more preservative than getting the lead out of the pipes?
Just take a look at that city council. You know you have lead in the water when you take a look at that city council.
Well, no. To me, it's the mayor. The mayor's got all the power.
I agree with you there. That's my other point. In other words, the mayor runs the day-to-day.
Yeah.
The city council just goes along for the ride.
Well, I don't know. Go along for they can do a few small things, but the big man is the mayor, whoever the mayor may be. John Mitchell, Scott Lang, Jack Markey, whoever. And so these ARPA funds and everything that they weren't used. Or they haven't been used as of yet to help give some relief with the water pipes and to help give some relief with the taxation. Again, he's given the city a nice raincoat like you have, but as far as shoes and socks, he has none on. To me, you got to take care of the pipes and the taxation first, and then you get all the frills after that. So, but again, I got to ask you another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Scott Lima, what happened to him?
Scott Lima's a regular. I'm in regular contact with Scott Lima. He's a good guy. I'd love to see Scott consider coming back to the city council, wouldn't you?
Yes, if one of those gentlemen do decide to, and they do accept them in Fairhaven and give them the job.
They're not going to do that, but go ahead.
well, as so goes New Bedford, goes Fairhaven, like you say, So.
I hope not, but yes.
Well, you got a fellow there, I think he was a South End kid. He's not a kid anymore, he's a grown man. Mr. Furtado.
Oh, Vinny's the best.
Yeah, he's a New Bedford guy originally, I think from the South End.
He runs the the highway department.
Yeah, so don't knock those.
No, I don't knock you, Bevan. No, Vinny's the best. I'd love Vinny to consider being town administrator.
Yeah, so maybe if either Ian Abreu or Mr. Lopes went over there, maybe they would qualify as that too. They're intelligent guys. But again, Scott Lima, I wouldn't mind seeing him back on the council. He seemed to be, well versed in how to conduct himself, and to see him out of politics, I think he would be someone who could replace some of those gentlemen. Not that I want to see them replaced.
No, I get it, but I would love Scott Lima to make a decision, and he has to do it pretty soon to come back, because I think that would be a great addition. Because when you take a few years off and you observe, you learn what you should have done. Maybe, you see things and from a different point of view. You're not in the game,
Well, he should have taken your advice. You advised him to stay as Ward 5 council
Yes.
and deal with the rest of the city, as they all do.
Right.
That's, again, I can't vote for a Ward 1 councilor because I'm in Ward 5, but, still the Ward 1 councilor can make decisions that affect me in Ward 5.
Absolutely.
So I think that was the advice that you gave Mr. Lima, stay where you are. And he went for the at-large and, didn't make it too bad. I think he did a credible job when he was there.
And and also, he would be another vote for the recall, which is absolutely needed.
No, what's absolutely needed, my friend, is a 2-year term. We don't need a 4-year mayor. That's too long. Like I said, mayor too long, it's too long. The mayor's feet should be held to the fire by the voters. And that way you're bringing democracy down to the people, and you're giving people a reason to go vote. You want people to vote, well, give them a reason to go vote. You can have a say on who the mayor's going to be every 2 years. This is not necessary. And even your friend Scott Lang has told you that, And
Scott is all for bringing back the 2-year term.
Oh, yeah, and I think he's right. This is just so that Mayor Mitchell can get elected, and then for the next 4 years he doesn't have to listen to you. I don't know, maybe around when he comes up for the next, election, maybe he might say, yeah, I think we should reduce the taxes.
You never know. You never know, Mike. He'll be here at 11 o'clock. Thanks for the call, my friend. He'll be here at 11 o'clock. If you're thinking about moving, if you have to move something, right? It's dreaded, right? It's dreaded. I remember my brother, he and his wife moved from an apartment to a house. And I said, how come you didn't ask for help? This is years ago now. And he said, because I'm an adult, I called a mover, right? The days of getting your friends together or helping your boss move, those are over. Call Long Moving and Storage. Based in Westport, that's who you want to call for your next move. If you're going to move across town or up north, maybe you have to get a kid to college in January, maybe it's an emergency move, call Long Moving and Storage. Perry's team at Long Moving and Storage will make it stress-free. These guys pack it up, haul it, and unpack it. It's a family-owned business, so they're going to take care of all your stuff and move it personally, right? The team at Long Moving and Storage, they do corporate moves, family moves. If you have a business, we used them here at WBSM. They moved all the old 80s furniture, those heavy file cabinets. They moved it all. It was gone without any stress, right? Call Long Moving and Storage for your next move. Tell them Chris McCarthy called you. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, stay there. We'll be right back. McCarthy, and you are the audience. You can reach me at 508-996-0 with a bunch of people on hold. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, good morning, Chris. How's it going?
What's happening, my friend? How are you?
Great. Unpopular opinion coming in. You ready for it?
All right.
All right. You know who uses Zoom, especially when you're local? People who are afraid of confrontation.
Okay.
That's who.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and that's why I don't use the phone. I don't do any of that. You go face to face because it's very easy to say no to someone over the phone or on a Zoom meeting. But when you're looking them eye to eye, it's a lot harder to do. Look at great old Facebook. Why I don't use Facebook?
Right.
Because everybody has this fraud imaginary life that really isn't true. Right. You have those tough guys online, those keyboard warriors.
Yep.
Yeah, that like to talk the big talk behind the screen, but they won't say boo to you in front of your face. You want to know why? because they're worried about the consequences.
As they should be.
So, and that's why you see a lot of this Zoom meetings and all of this. It's like, come on, like, be real. Like, man up or woman up, whatever you want. Show up and do the work, and like take into account people's time. And if someone's there present, it means that they're invested in it. And people who do these meetings online, so on, they're not really, it seems as though they're not really invested in what's going on.
I think you're right about that. The avoiding confrontation and the not, it's look, here's the thing. You get a 2-year no-cut contract as a city councilor. They got to pay you no matter what. Thanks for the call, my friend. Remember the woman who did that a few years ago, Deborah Coelho. She basically got reelected and stopped coming to the meetings. I think she went overseas. I know she had a family issue, but she should have resigned. But she kept collecting the paycheck, the pension credits, and the health insurance if she was taking it. She didn't show up for basically 2 years. And when you do that, it's not good, and that is another reason why you ought to have a recall petition available. But the city council has killed that off, right? They killed it off. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thank you for holding.
Hi, Chris. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I want to talk about Ian.
Sure.
It seems to me from what I'm reading that people really want him in Fairhaven.
Yeah.
I live in New Bedford, and I think he's a great counselor.
Sure.
But I'm under the assumption, I spoke to a few people, and correct me please if I'm wrong, but he can do both because it's been done in other places.
I would say that I would hope the Fairhaven selectmen would not hire someone who was not willing to resign as a city councilor because it's a real conflict.
Okay.
Where has it been done before?
I think it's my friend Holly was in Swansea.
Yeah.
And then they were TA somewhere else, but they were a council person in Swansea.
They were a counselor in Fall River, and they're the TA in Swansea.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do they share a harbor, those two communities?
No.
No, they don't.
No.
And do they share a border?
And then Swan. No.
No. So
No,
there is
no.
a major difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like one town over.
Yeah, but it's one of those towns is my town, right? To me, New Bedford can do whatever they want. You guys over there can do whatever you want. But I mean, when it comes to Fairhaven, I don't think either one of those counselors can do both jobs.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I was hoping to see Ian run for mayor.
Oh, I think a lot of people were.
I'm kind of disappointed that he might be going in a different direction, but he's a young guy.
He is a young guy.
He's going to do what he's got to do, right?
No, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I just thought he was going to run for mayor too. That was my thought
too.
as well. So,
Me
but
too.
that's my opinion is I think he's given up, and that's okay on elected politics in New Bedford. That is fine. It's no really way to make a living anyway.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I don't think that's how he makes a living anyway.
No, he has two
he's
businesses.
Very successful. Yeah. He's a successful guy. But yeah, that's just. I was sad. I have to say, I was a little sad when I heard that he was going to go for that job because I thought, well, he might have to leave. But then
He definitely has to leave. I can't imagine the Fairhaven selectmen, themselves elected officials, would bring over an elected official from New Bedford to be the town administrator without having them resign in New Bedford.
Did the TA leave in Fairhaven, and now that it's an interim? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Did they quit? Oh, all right.
Yes,
so when's the
left.
next election for the TA?
No, they don't get elected. They get hired.
Oh, they get hired.
Yes.
Okay, so this would be a hired position,
Yes.
and then all right, I got you. All right. Well.
Hey, no, thanks for the call, and thanks for the input. I do appreciate it. Listen, Ian has his fans out there. I'm one of them. I know it doesn't sound that way this morning, but understand my position. My position is they raise taxes over there in New Bedford all the time. That's not what we do here in Fairhaven. My position is they don't run the day-to-day operations as city councilors. So what they've learned is politics, not cutting budgets, not holding down taxes. they learn the opposite in New Bedford as city councilors. And if they're not going to give up the position as city council, which clearly that phone call indicated that Ian is not considering, he wants the job and to be a city councilor. That's not going to hold. I mean, that's not going to happen. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, Chris McCarthy.
Hey, what's happening, Mike Lima?
Hey, I give you a call on my work phone because every time I call you on my personal phone, it seems to cut out.
Yes.
So, first of all, I'm not going to debate you on who's good or who's not. You live in Fairhaven. I live in Dartmouth. So, I think the people of Fairhaven have the right to voice their opinion on who they want or who they don't want. I don't think personally that if Mr. Abreu was chosen, he would keep his city council seat. I think he's smart enough to know I got to focus and put all my energy into this job because this is important to me. It is full-time, great benefits, great pay. So I cannot talk for Joe Lopes. I'm not talking for Ian.
No, I get that.
I'm giving you my opinion on the matter. It does have some transferable skills. But
they know the players. I would say they know all the personalities because there is a lot of intersect between New Bedford and Fairhaven.
Right. Fall River Counselor is the TA in Seekonk.
Oh, Seekonk, okay.
That's what I read. Do I know that for a fact? No, but that's what I read. So I'm basing it on what I read. Transferable skills, as I said, yes. Do they know a budget? Well, they look it over.
Right. They know how to increase a budget. I mean, Ian didn't even show up for the budget cutting session. I mean, come on, that was really bad.
They do overlook and see the budget. They don't make the budget. No. The mayor does.
Right.
And he will be on your program, as you said, in the next hour. And I just want to briefly touch on what I sent you last night.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I know that the good Senator, Mr. Montigny, is not looking for no praise or no recognition.
Right.
I would bet my life that he did that without no one knowing.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
But Owen is a friend of mine. I'm very good friends with his mom. And that young man has battled his whole life, what he has gone through since birth. And he is well deserving. He took it upon himself to get the money. No, well, not get the money. He had help raising the money to outfit the hospital with new Xboxes and new Xboxes cabinets, we'll call it. And I thought that was, and I know the senator, if he's listening, is probably saying, Mike Lehman's praising me. I thought it was. Listen, times have changed.
What Mike's talking about, folks, is Senator Mark Montigny helped out with a group called Owen's Buddies. Owen is a very sick young guy, but they outfitted him with all kinds of Xbox stuff like that. Just great stuff. Christmas time, really great stuff.
And I just want to thank Mark personally because, as I said, Owen and the mom are friends of mine, and that really touched me. And obviously, you are well aware when you're going through health issues, life isn't easy.
No, every little bit helps. The psychological, the distractions, the love, the care. It's all it contributes to the person getting well, or comfortable while they're not getting well, maybe.
Right. And I just want to thank you for giving me this time. And I always appreciate your show, and I always appreciate you and I going back and forth on whatever we discuss, whether it's on or off the air. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Mike Lima. Listen, I know I'll talk to you.
Stay out of the rain.
Oh, I will all the time. I'll stay out of the rain. Thanks, Mike Lima. Yeah, there's a story up at WBSM, and I think it's at Fun 107 as well on Owen and Owen's buddies and what Senator Mark Montigny's done as well. So check it out. Christmas time is a fantastic time of the year. I love it. Have you been to Potting Bench Florist and Gifts here in Fairhaven? Folks, you got to go in there and check it out. They have the most beautiful displays, the most beautiful Christmas displays, holiday displays. They're all decked out. Check them out. They're located in the CVS Plaza here on Route 6 in Fairhaven. Potting Bench Florists and Gifts have the best selection of pre-decorated boxwood trees. Free parking, right? Just zip into the parking lot. You can always find a space. No, don't have to worry about getting a ticket or any of that. Free parking. For decades, people have trusted Danielle and the team at Potting Bench to provide beautiful arrangements for every occasion, including the holidays. They have beautifully decorated boxwood trees, each decorated with a different theme, so they're perfect for your entryway. They are stocked up with one-of-a-kind ornaments. So if you need a special gift for someone on your list, there's everything you need. There's holiday poinsettias, holiday wreaths, centerpieces, live plants, silk arrangements. Choose the fresh flowers right from the cooler. You got to check out Potting Bench Florist and Gifts right here in Route 6 in Fairhaven. They have dozens of show-stopping options to choose from, ready to take home with you right that day. So if you need something more custom, talk to Danielle and the staff. They'll make it all for you. Arrangements from Potting Bench, Florists and Gifts. They're a perfect way to decorate your home for the holiday. They have extended weekend holidays, so there's really no excuse not to grab a beautiful holiday piece for your home. Potting Bench, Florists and Gifts, 2 Sarah's Way, inside the CVS Plaza here in Fairhaven. Say hello to Danielle. Go in there, really. You got to check it out, folks. Check it out. It's going to put you in that holiday spirit, even on a rainy day like today. Potting Bench, Florist and Gifts. We'll be right back. Thanks to his helpers at the New Bedford Fire Union, Local 841, those great Americans are making arrangements for Santa to fly his sleigh to WBSM so he can be on the radio and take phone calls from all the good little children. Well, they don't have to be good. All the kids from the South Coast, right? This year, I don't want to exclude my own. If I was a child, I wouldn't have been able to make that call if I was a good one, but all the kids will be able to call Santa. The big guy will be here for 2 full hours. Tune in Friday, December 13th, beginning at 7 p.m. So all the children can call it and tell Santa what they want for Christmas. We did it here last year, and it was really a lot of fun. Marcus and I did it. He really does a great job. Why wouldn't he? He's Santa. It's going to be this Friday, December 13th, beginning at 7 p.m., and that's possible because of those great Americans, your firefighters, the New Bedford Fire Union, Local 841. So tune in on this Friday, all right, 7 p.m. So the city council last night held another meeting by Zoom. We've gotten a lot of calls about that over the course of the morning, right? Again, I have pointed out ruthlessly how bad that is when Linda Morad does it. I pointed out, again, in a not favorable manner, when Maria Giesta does it. So when Ian Abreu does it, as chairman of appointments and briefings, it would be playing favorites if I didn't point it out. Hey, look, like I've said, I like Ian. I've gone to his restaurant. I've used Silmo syrup. He makes a great ice cream cone. But, come on. Right now, all the eyes of South Coast are on you, and you phone it in, literally. Phone it in, use Zoom to hold a meeting. It rubs me the wrong way. And I also don't think that either Joe Lopes or Ian Abreu, as city councilors, should be the town administrator over here in Fairhaven. Again, I don't think they've learned the right lessons for us in Fairhaven. In New Bedford, they just keep going back to the taxpayers. And we don't like that here in Fairhaven. And in Fairhaven, you've got to go back to the taxpayers with a Prop 2.5 override. And that's not going to pass. So then what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? And if they don't, how do I put it? They own property. Both of them own property in the city of New Bedford. Yet the taxes keep going up. What are they going to do when they come to Fairhaven where they don't own property, but I do? They're going to go up on the taxes. I just don't think we can have it. Next thing you know, I'll be running down to Mac Auto Sales to buy a car to get the hell out of town, right? 188 Rivet Street, New Bedford. They fix cars. They sell cars. They repair all makes and models. If you need to get your car ready for the coming winter, call Mac Auto Sales. Here's the number, 508-565-6221. Open weekdays, 9 to 5. If you have a foreign car that needs servicing, call Mac Auto Sales. They specialize in foreign cars, but they do a nice job with domestic as well. Ask about their aftermarket accessories and their quality used cars. Mac Auto Sales, 188 Rivet Street, New Bedford. I got to take a break. We'll be right back. But I have to do that. I'm only allowed to play little clips of music. 30 seconds. That's all and that's all right. That's all we're allowed to play here. Well, that's all I'm allowed to play here. Because my podcast is so popular and they don't, we have to play by the rules because the podcast gets so many listeners. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. The podcast gets so many listeners, so we have to play by other rules, I guess. I don't know. I just do what I'm told sometimes. 508-996-0500. We've got a bunch of people on hold. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, good morning, Chris.
What's happening?
Chris, so this issue with Ian Abreu, if he gets the job, he's not planning on keeping his counselor position, is he?
Sounds like his supporters want him to. So I would imagine he is. It's more money for him.
Hey, Mr. Abreu, I want you to know that if you decide to do that as a Fairhaven resident, my wife is a fraud auditor, and she said that there's an ethics violation there because of conflict of interest. So don't do it because you're only going to make it worse. We're just going to file it. We're going to file a complaint with the state. You can't.